So it's day 14 of my 2020 challenge to try and raise some funds for MDS UK. Thank you everyone for your lovely kind messages to continue to encourage me and support me in what I'm doing. I really appreciate it, thank you. As you know from, if you've been watching some of these previous videos, I was a bit of a street urchin, and I'm a Londoner through and through, as you can hear. And so I thought it would be apt to do something in, connecting me with London. And the first time I left home I was only 15, and I was homeless really for a couple of years, on and off, in and out, and sometimes I'd sofa surf and sometimes I'd be able to stay somewhere and have a bed for the night. But sometimes what I would do, don't tell anyone, I'd break into a car, and it was easier to break into cars then. They weren't the all singing, all dancing cars that they are now, so I was able to break in. And I always chose a car that had a blanket on the back seat. And that's because sleeping in a car in January is no fun. It's really cold. But anyway, I had my favourite car. It was an old Austin Morris, I think, and with a nice big thick blanket on the back seat. And so I used to break in every night and sleep in it, and then get up in the morning, and then fold up the blanket and put it back the way it was, lock the car up because I didn't need to do any damage in order to get in and out of the car, and then I would hope that it was there the following night so that I could repeat the process. So homelessness is a thing that's always been close to my heart because of having had that experience when I was a teenager. And I got my first grotty bedsit when I was 17, and it had cockroaches and mice and oh dear, but it was mine and it was inside and it was warm, so I made the most of it. I used to sing, at the time Michael Jackson's songs were famous, I used to sing Ben to the rats and the mice. You've got to keep a sense of humour about these things, haven't you? And one of the things I noticed is that homelessness comes in so many different guises, and I always encourage people, because one of the worst things about being homeless, you become invisible. No one smiles at you, no one acknowledges you, you just see hundreds and hundreds of feet going past you all day. And so even if I haven't got anything to give, I will always speak to a homeless person sitting on the street and say, hope you have a good day, hello mate, how you doing, that kind of thing. And most of the time I will ask, do they need some food? And I will go and get some, or I'll have some energy bars in my pocket, or a pair of socks, because when you get wet feet you so need a change of socks, and it's little things like that that are important. Giving someone a pair of socks is an amazing gift. But I don't encourage people to give money, and that's not because I'm judgmental about homeless people spending that on alcohol or drugs, but it's just because I don't want to support them in doing that. But I totally understand why you would want to do that, in order to dull the pain and separate you from all what you're feeling and experiencing. And so when I was 17 and I moved into that grotty bedsit for the first time ever, I had a little job, and I bought myself a guitar, and it was quite expensive actually, but it was, I just thought it was worth it, and I taught myself the guitar, and I haven't played now for, oh gosh, probably the best part of 20 years, since my daughter got too big for me to muck around with her doing it. I've just got out of the habit, and I've given my guitars away now, and I'm hoping my grandchildren will take it up instead. But one of the songs that I used to really love to play on the guitar was Streets of London. Of course, that's the famous Ralph McTell song, and it talks about the different people that you see on the streets, old men, old women, and also we get the ex-service in the lyrics. Now, the original version has 4 verses going through different people, and I felt when I was 18, I was sat there and I was playing it, and I thought, actually, they've missed the youngsters that are out there. And so the last verse that I'm not going to sing all 4 verses because it just makes it too long, so I'm only going to pick out a couple of verses. But the last verse I sing is one that I wrote myself when I was 18, and I hope it captured what was going on at the time, what I could see. It wasn't my experience, but it was what I could see in the people around me and the people that I was trying to help and do little bits and pieces for. So, yeah, I hope you like it. Ralph McTell's Streets of London. Have you seen the old man in the closed down market, kicking up the papers with his worn out shoes? In his eyes you'll see no pride, hands held loosely by his side. Yesterday's papers telling yesterday's news. Join with me. So how can you tell me that you're lonely, and say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Have you seen the old girl who walks the streets of London? Dirt in her hair and her clothes in rags. She's no time for talking, she just keeps right on walking, carrying her home in 2 carrier bags. So how can you tell me that you're lonely, and say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Have you seen the young girl who walks the streets of London, carrying her babe down a cold and lonely road? Her dreams are shattered, love by pretense is scattered. Yesterday's hero refused to share the load. So how can you tell me that you're lonely, and say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. God bless everyone. Stay safe, and don't forget, be kind to homeless people. They're people too. Take care.